Good evening, folks, and welcome to sunny California, location Sonoma in the middle of wine country. We are here tonight for the Crooked Line Monday Madness Racing Series, but we're taking a break here this week. This is going to be an exhibition race on a road course. For a change, we're going to be turning right every now and again here in the series. We're not counting the points. We're just going to have a night of fun racing on a road course with the with the super late models. And let's give you a little bit of a reminder what kind of car we're racing here in this series. This is the super late model in iRacing. The car has a 358 cubic inch cast iron V8 block. It's got about 550 horsepower with a 4-speed manual transmission. It weighs right around 2,800 pounds, and the top speed of this car is about 190 miles an hour. Doubt that we will make that around this road course here in Southern California, but we'll see how it goes, and we might be able to check on you on that for a little bit. There is a fairly long straightaway on the back of this track. Let's give you some more information of the track itself. There you have the track map. That little red line there, that's the start finish where the pits are. There's actually pits on both sides of that track there, but we're only using the ones on the left side of the track. So it's a 2.47 mile long track, a road course that winds through the hills here in wine country. As you can see from the pictures there is not a whole lot of runoff area around the track, and that runoff area that there is just sand and dirt, and it's not really like Formula One tracks where there are sand traps. It's just basically when you get off, you're in trouble because there's just no grip at all. Now, as you can see the car coming up the hill here, some of these turns are on top of crests, and they're kind of blind to get into. So it's a little bit of a tricky winding trek here through the hills in Southern California. The ambient temperature here is 71 degrees, which is a cool California afternoon. The relative humidity is 35%. It's a partly cloudy sky and there's no winds to speak of. Trek temperature is only 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very cool, and that'll make for good grip for these drivers. We have currently got 10 drivers that are entering this race, and again, it is not a race for championship points. It is just an exhibition race, ready to have some fun here. Practice, as you can see, is over. Our Canadian friend Jason Tarasenko was the quickest driver here in practice, and it looks like the times of these 10 drivers are fairly close together. They're going to be doing 2 laps of qualifying. They have 10 minutes allotted time for that, and let's see if we can ride along with one of these drivers here. That is Joshua Sexton. Now, when you leave the pits, there is a left-hander coming up the hill with a fairly sharp right-hand turn here. That's on top of the crest where the car gets a little bit light. Then you go to the next one, again uphill, and left on the crest, where once again the car is tending to get a little light. Then we're going right to the infield part of the course, and we're speeding up a little bit around the right-hand turn here. Then we're going back down into the gears for a long and sweeping left-hander that'll bring us onto the straight here, and that is part of the drag strip here at Sonoma, California. We're leaving that drag strip slightly left, and then we're coming to a sharp right-hander first gear turn, followed directly by another first gear turn, and then we're going through a kind of an S section, multiple S's really, and it's not really all that fast. It brings us to the final stretch of that part here, where we're going to be speeding up back towards the pit complex, a slight right-hander, and that'll bring us back to the pit complex, as you can see here, past the scoring tower, and then we're going to make a hairpin turn to the left, and that is 1 lap around the Sonoma track here. On the left side, you see your pit area. There's the start-finish line, and right here on the left is where we see the pit boxes. And we see Joshua Sexton starting his first timed lap. We have plenty of drivers on track here. This is Kevin Roy in the number 89 car. We have Jason Day in the number 51 car here. Nice livery on that car. Scotty Stevens is on track in the number 2 car. We know him from the series, a good front runner there. Chris Northington in the number 1 car. He is out on track. Nobody has set a full timed lap just yet. They're all mostly on their out lap or on their first timed lap. So Tanamar here in the number 4 car. Then we have Jason Tarasenko in the 21. And it looks like he is about to get ready to set a lap time here. Actually, he's not. He's still on his out lap. We have Russell Brown. Russell Brown in the 00 car. And we have Jeff Carlson in the number 11 and Brandon Mettler there in the 015. And it looks like some drivers are having some issues. We had a few drivers having an off. There is Scotty Stevens picking up those curbs kind of hard. And we have a first time here posted on the scoring board, and that is Joshua Sexton. Jeff Carlson posting a 139.03. That's probably not going to keep him up there. Brandon Mettler with a 136.78. There's Brandon in the 015 car. Jeff Carlson having an off here. Let's see if we can find out what happens. Let's bring that back for you just a notch. That is the first blind corner uphill there where the car gets a little light, and if you get on the gas too early, then that's exactly what you're going to do. All right, so we're looking at Kevin Roy. He has posted no time just yet. He's on his way back, I believe. Well, he's still on the infield. His first time looks like it was probably disallowed. Carlson, we have Jason Day posting a 133.8, and Jason Tarasenko has posted the quickest time, the 133.58. Let's follow Jason Day here. He's well on his way. He's got a good first lap time, and it looks like he might be challenging that pole position from Jason Tarasenko. He was only 3/10 of a second behind, and as you can understand, the lap times on these road courses are not as close together as they are on half-mile ovals and 1-mile ovals. Ooh, almost loses it there. Jason catches that beautifully. If you get on the gas a little early and a little hard, that back end will step away from you instantly. And of course, the speeds are a little bit slower than on the super speedways and the bigger tracks, so obviously it's doable to catch that car on a road course. Jason now coming back to finalize his last lap, and he is coming towards the start finish line here on the main straightaway, which is really not straight. It's got a kind of a kink in there. And his second lap time was not quicker. That was to be expected with that little slip and sliding that he did there. Russell Brown is still out there. His first lap was a 135.4. And it looks like he's still working on his second lap there, coming back down towards the hairpin. There we see him coming back past the tower. The hairpin will take him around back to the main straightaway. Little kink in there, and that'll give him his second lap time, and we're anxious to see what he can make of that. And it doesn't look like that lap was given a time. That means he's heading off somewhere, and he will not be improving his time. Final car on the track at this point is Chris Northington. He has not yet posted a lap. He is getting started, I believe. We have Tanner Marr waiting on pit road to go out. You don't want to wait too long because you're going to do a full lap before you even get to your timed lap. 7 minutes of 10 already gone, and looks like we have Chris Northington as the final car on the track trying to set a lap time. You can hear the rumble of the curbs and the dirt when they go off track. Now, iRacing will give you a little bit of slack, but not very much. If you get two wheels in the dirt, you're going to get an X, which means an off-track registration. And on your qualifying laps, you cannot have any of those. You need to make those laps clean and without any incidents. You can take the curbs with these cars fairly good, as you can see. They're running a fixed setup here tonight, meaning that they're basically using the Sonoma road course setup that iRacing provides. There you go. That lap is not going to be counted. That is an off that is too far off the track. It'll give him a 1X, and he will not be. This lap will not be timed. Let's see if he has another lap. And unfortunately, I don't believe he has another lap, as he is bringing the car to a halt, and that'll have to do it for Chris Northington. So Chris Northington and Tanner Marr not able to post a qualifying time, but with a field of 10 drivers, that is not, of course, that's not a big deal. And they're going to be joining at the back end of the pack of 10 cars, so they're still having a good chance to make something of this race. All right, that'll. We pretty much have everybody's been on track. This is Tarasenko's car waiting on pit road. We have Metler on pit road waiting there, and we have Tanner Marr. But qualifying is ticking away. There is no longer any point of going out at 9 minutes and 20 seconds because it would take you a minute and a half to get around the first time to even get started. Let's quickly bring up that map one more time. Where you see that red line, that's pretty much where this car is being parked currently. And so that first kink in the main straightaway is right behind the start finish line, and then it's uphill to that blind right hander, and that'll get the guys going. It is a difficult track, folks, especially for drivers that never run road courses. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But like I said, the Crooked Line Racing Series, every once in a while they'll just do something different just for the heck of it. We are going to be gridding up these cars here. We're going to do a rolling start just like we always do. Let's take a quick look here at the grid. Two Canadians up front, Jason Tarasenko on the pole position, Jason Day on the second position there on the bottom. Then on the second row we have Joshua Sexton and Russell Brown with the 00. On the third row we have Brandon Metler there in the 015 with alongside him the 89 of Kevin Roy. Then we have Scotty Stevens, we're missing him. Currently, he's going to be on the inside there of Jeff Carlson in the number 11 car. And the final row, folks, is for Chris Northington and Tanner Marr. No qualifying times for those guys, so they will be on the final row of the grid. We are going to be doing 30 laps here tonight. We will not have full course yellows. On a road course, we have 2 tire sets at our disposal for the race, so they're going to have to make those tires last for at least 15 laps if they want to do it right. They have 1 fast repair at their disposal. As you'll remember, the fast repairs in these series give them an instant new car when they run into trouble. There we go. We are on our way behind the pace car, and we'll give you a little bit of a wider angle here during the pace lap, and that'll give you a good idea of how this track is twisting and turning through the Southern California hills, surrounded by basically sand. It's pretty dry around here. Grandstands here at the side of the short chute coming towards that little hairpin that brings us to an infield. Ooh, and Jason's already going off there on the pace lap. And I tell you, folks, if you're not used to doing this kind of stuff, it is a little tricky, especially with these cars. Nothing against these cars, but they're not really made for road courses. They're made for ovals and short tracks. So they're fairly heavy, and as a road racer myself, you know, we run cars, open wheel cars that are a lot lighter and more agile to handle. These cars are heavy and bulky, and they got big engines. They only have 4 gears. You manually shift them, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, absolutely. So when we will see these drivers getting into trouble, we will forgive them right away, folks. It is not their usual thing, and what I've seen so far in practice, I think all of them have adapted fairly well already. And of course, you're going to see some mistakes, but that's part of road racing as well. I mean, if you're trying to be on the edge in these twisty sections, you're likely to lose that car every once in a while, and you'll need to be able to quickly respond and to catch it. Now, the good thing about a heavy car is that when it oversteers, when you get on the gas too early, it's not as quickly as a light open wheel car, so it is very possible to catch it. We see the pace car going down pit road. Pit entry is before the hairpin. There they're coming around the hairpin. And it'll be up to Jason Tarasenko. Well, they'll probably wait for the radio call here. There we go. We are racing here at Sonoma at the exhibition race for the Crooked Line Racing Series. It is Jason Tarasenko that leads us around the track here. Coming down the hill and then back up the hill once more. There you have the scoring back up. Sometimes it gives me a little trouble going into the race, but here we have all 10 drivers, and you will see, folks, that the distances between these drivers will be a little bit bigger than they are on ovals and on short tracks, because the level of experience is probably quite different for various drivers. We see Scotty Stevens get in trouble. Let's see what happened to him there on lap 1. We're coming toward... Ooh, he loses the back end under braking there, it looks like. You can lose the back end under braking if the car gets a little light coming over one of those crests. So Scotty Stevens back on his way. Lost a little time there, but I'm sure he's got some time to catch back up. Back live here, we... Chris Northington going through the sand here. That is on the twisty section. He looks like he just kind of overshoots that first turn there. Back on his way. One lap is completed. Jason Tarasenko is your leader going into lap number 2. And it looks to me like they've actually set it up as a timed race. That is a little bit odd here. I thought they were limited to 30 laps, but it looks like they set it up as a timed race for 1 hour and 50 minutes. I was not aware of that, but that's okay. We'll just have a lot of fun. Jason Tarasenko brings it around that long left-hand sweep and turn onto the drag strip. As you can see clearly here, that's the drag strip. Then they leave the drag strip and they make a right turn to cross over the end of that drag strip where the dragsters come to a halt. Hopefully. Wouldn't be the first one that overshot it. We have Jason Day here in second position. He is close to 2 seconds behind Jason Tarasenko. Then we're going down to Joshua Sexton in third, Kevin Roy in fourth, Brandon Mettler in the 015 is in fifth, Russell Brown is in sixth, Jeff Carlson with Tanner Marr fairly close behind him here. And it looks like Jeff is going a little, he's going wide coming off that last turn, and he takes Tanner Marr with him. Ooh, that's a little bit of a tricky situation there. Ooh. Not sure who it was that went into the grass. Yeah, it was Carlson that went in the sand there. And coming back on the track, he didn't have full control of his car yet, looked like. And he took Tanner Marr with him. Tanner's going down pit road to get that fast repair, it looks like. Let's see if he did. He is coming down pit road. It's a long pit road. Takes a lot of time when you have to remember that the pit lane speed limit is only 45 miles an hour. It looks like Tanner, I'm not sure. Well, he's coming back out. Didn't take tires, but I'm thinking he took a little bit of fuel and maybe a repair. But he's back on his way and currently in 10th position, 32 seconds down from Scotty Stevens. That's quite a bit. There we have Jason Tarasenko, and in the background we have Jason Day. Jason running fairly good lap times there, 134.4. as opposed to Jason Day with a 134.6. And currently the other drivers are struggling to make those kind of lap times, but it's still early. Oh, it looks like we do indeed have 30 laps scoring. Scoring wasn't showing me that earlier, but it is now. We are on lap 4 of 30, and whatever comes first, because an hour and 15 minutes is the time limit on the race, but I'm fairly sure we're going to be doing that 30 laps within that allotted time. There are no full course yellows here, folks. If there's an issue, then there's local yellows only. And that means that in that section where the local yellow flies, the drivers are supposed to slow down to be careful, and they're not allowed to pass each other. Jason Day seems to be closing in a little bit again. He is 1 second behind Tarasenko. And let's see, we have Russell Brown being followed there by Brandon Mettler being followed by Russell Brown. They're fairly close together there. And the same is true for Scotty Stevens and Jeff Carlson. Ooh, Scotty having another off there. And Scotty being overtaken by Jeff Carlson because of that. Let's take another look at that. He runs a little bit wide coming off that long left-hander. And as he's trying to get back up to speed, it's Jeff Carlson that comes to his inside there and picks up that position. Scotty is not giving up. He is right behind Jeff Carlson. Let's ride along with him there for a little bit, and you'll see that this looks a lot easier than it is, folks. There we come towards the tower, and that'll take us to the hairpin. The pit lane entrance is on your left there while the orange cones are. You see Carlson locking up a tire there, and Scotty Stevens passing him coming off that hairpin turn, and back in 8th position. Let's go check on Brandon Mettler. Brandon has Russell Brown behind him, less than a second apart there. Jason Tarasenko has actually been reeled in by Jason Day. The difference is now less than a second, and Jason is starting to put some pressure on the other Jason. 2 Jasons, and they're both from Canada. That's just to make it easy for the commentator. Day and Tarasenko. Day here in the number 51 car. And Tarasenko having to get on the defensive here, maybe. They're both running similar lap times there in the 134 area there. The 134, I believe it was a 134. Well, that was their best lap times. I apologize. Their last lap times were 136.2 for Tarasenko and 136.7 for Jason Day. So currently Tarasenko still in control, and that is at this point the closest battle we have on track. There, Tarasenko and Day for the lead. There you see how they are going through this twisty section. A long left-hander here going downhill onto the drag strip. Day running over the curbs there. They leave the drag strip to go right and cross over it. And then another right that'll bring them back to that twisty section. That second left-hander that they just come out of, that's a little bit slower than the other ones, so that they really have to be a little careful. And you really have to find a rhythm in that section to left, right, left, right, left, right, to kind of go through these S's there. Tarasenko reaching the hairpin first. Jason Day on his tail there. Looks like Jason gave it a little bit of a twist there with the back end trying to step out. Once again, folks, they got to make those tires last. And up the hill here. As you can see, it's a little difficult to see the exit of the turn. Then a little dip and back up the hill, and another right-hander. Also difficult to see the exit of the turn. Then we're going right. And then a slight right again, and then that long sweeping left-hander just coming over the hill here. Car gets a little light on the entry, and then you get heavier coming into this turn. And this is where you get onto the drag strip, shifting through the gears, leave the drag strip, back on the brakes to go right over that drag strip. Ooh, Tarasenko going pretty wide there, and it doesn't hurt him too bad. A left, a right, a little bit slower left, and then another right, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. You need to find a nice rhythm to get through those first parts of that curvy, of that twisty section, and then a little bit off the gas here for that last right-hander. There's the pit entrance, and once again we are reaching the hairpin turn that brings us back onto the main straightaway. The pit area is on your left there. There's the start-finish line, and another lap here completed at the Sonoma Raceway. 8 laps of 30 behind our belt. Last lap time, Tarasenko was a 35.7, and Jason Day a 36 flat, 136 flat, and it looks like Day is, he's losing out there a little bit, overshooting that turn. Coming off of it, he had to go through the gas, but it looks like he's fairly close behind Tarasenko. Less than half a second between these two guys. Tarasenko running a little bit wide, and this is where Jason Day can bring the car closer. And it looks like Tarasenko is overshooting that turn there a little bit. Absolutely overshooting that one. But so far, Jason Day cannot take advantage of these little mistakes that Tarasenko is making. They're pretty equal, these two guys. There you're looking at Jason Day's number. Well, scoring gives him number 3, but he's actually driving with a number 51 on his paint. Oh, wait a minute. We actually have 2 number 51s. That is Joshua Sexton in 3rd place. Jason Day being scored as number 3, but running with a 51 as well. If he comes into the series, I hope he can figure that one out for us pretty quickly. That will get us confused. Kevin Roy in 4th position. He is 2.7 seconds behind Joshua Sexton. Then it's Russell Brown in the 00. He is almost 5 seconds behind Kevin Roy. Russell going a little bit wide here. Chris Northington in the number 1 monster car. He is in 6th. And then it's Brandon Mettler in the 015, 2.5 seconds behind Chris Northington. We have an off for Scotty Stevens here. Let's see what happened. That is on that first blind uphill corner. Oh, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you do it a little bit too fast, the car gets light, the back end steps out, you can't get on the gas. And Scotty Stevens is back on his way. Didn't lose a position, but lost a little time as far as being behind Brandon Mettler is concerned. And it looks like he's got those tires pretty dirty because he has no grip at all there. Running through that sand, obviously those tires are going to get dirty with that sand. Those slick tires are everything sticks to it, and the sand is not different. So it takes you a couple of turns to get all that stuff cleaned up. Looks like we have an off here for, nasty little incident here for Jeff Carlson. Let's see what happened. Oh, he's already approaching the turn with the right wheels in the dirt. And then he loses it under braking, trying to get his car turned around. It looks like trying to find reverse. There, he's got it. And there you go. He is back on his way again. Number 11 car in 10th position. Pretty beat up there on the front end. That's not going to help him much either. Russell Brown having an issue there in the 00 car. Let's go find out what happened to him. That is the long left-hander. He just gets in there a little bit hot and goes sideways as he can't keep it off the sand there. Didn't hit anything. That's the good news. And he is back on his way. Russell Brown is running in 5th position. Carlson has brought it to pit road. I'm sure he's going to try to get that car repaired. The leaders are passing him. Jason Day is actually taking over the leading position. Let's see if we can see what happened. We can see the pass for the lead here from Jason Day. There you have it. It looks like Tarasenko went a little bit wide coming on the main straightaway here, and Jason passed him for the lead there. And he is definitely hanging on to that lead as Carlson is coming back out with a what looks to me a pretty fixed up car. So he has used up his fast repair there. Jason Day is now leading the race. Running a little wide coming onto the drag strip. This is a fight developing here, folks. Jason Day and Jason Tarasenko, both Canadian drivers. Tarasenko, one of the front runners in the Crooked Line Monday Night Madness Super Late Model Series. And here he is on a road course doing something completely different as what he's used to. Brandon Mettler had a little bit of an issue. See what it was. Yeah, a couple of wheels in the dirt there. Not too bad. And both the Jasons coming around. Ooh, Tarasenko almost loses it. Goes off track there. He saves it from going around, but that's about all she wrote. Let's take another look at that. Coming at the hairpin. And here you'll see him go on the gas. You'll see that those the tires spin. He has to correct it by steering into that slide, and he saves it beautiful. Ooh. Are we seeing Carlson back on pit road? No. That was his original pit stop. There he is going around the track. Jason Day is now pulling away from Tarasenko by almost 2 seconds already. It looks like Jason Day is showing Tarasenko who's the boss around here. Lap number 12 of 30, so we're getting close to the halfway mark of this exhibition race for the Crooked Line Racing Series. They don't run road courses during their season. They run short tracks and short ovals mostly. Next week, when we're going back to the championship, we're going to go to the Southern National Motorsports Park. Jason Day keeping it nice and tidy out there on the track, coming out of the hairpin. Tarasenko following. And once again, he loses that back end, almost coming over that hump. That is a tricky turn, folks. You can't go on the gas all that hard because you're right on top of a crest and the car gets light as you are ready to get on the gas. And in almost every class, that is a tricky, tricky turn. All right, let's go and check on some of the other drivers. We have Joshua Sexton still in third position, but he has been reeled in there by Kevin Roy. Ooh, Sexton having an off here. That allows Kevin Roy to steal third position from him. Let's bring that back for you. He just overshoots that kink there. And then he keeps it in the right direction, but obviously you have to be extremely careful on that dirt. There's no grip there at all. He's back on his way. He's lost the third position to Kevin Roy. There we see Kevin Roy pretty aggressively here in the double right-hander that brings him back to the twisty section. And there you have Joshua Sexton. Then we have Russell Brown in fifth position. He's about 12 and a half seconds behind. Chris Northington, another 3 seconds down. He can see Russell Brown there. Then it's Brandon Mettler in the 015. He's 20 seconds behind Northington. Then it's Scotty Stevens, 7.5 seconds behind Mettler. Tanner Marr. Oh, we see Joshua Sexton coming down pit road on lap number 14. I'm sure he's used up those tires and he's bringing it in for fresh rubber. Let's keep an eye on this here. And obviously, driving style on these road courses is extremely important. You have to be very smooth not to burn those tires up too quick. And that's what I like about the Crooked Line Racing Series. They only give them 2 sets of tires, so tire management is definitely a factor for these boys. Not so, just as much on the short tracks and ovals as it is here, and even more so here, obviously, because these are guys that are not really used to these twisty road courses. So as we can see, we've seen several drivers get into trouble a little bit, and Joshua Sexton was definitely one of them. He's back on track. Scotty Stevens here in the number 2 also had his share of troubles already. Tanner Marr is now coming down pit road. He is in 9th position. He's had a few incidents as well. And he's coming back down pit road here, also going to get new rubber, and I'm sure they might need a little bit of fuel. I'm not sure if they do or not. There you have it. They're working on the right side. You don't actually see the tires being changed, but if the car's jacked up, the tires are being changed. So he's getting new rubber all around. And next up is Russell Brown. It looks like everybody after 15 laps has decided that it is the time for new rubber. Tanner Marr is back on his way. Russell Brown coming down pit road, and as you can see, he's going to be going a lap down. Well, no, excuse me, that was Chris Northington passing him there. That was for position. And Chris is running ahead of the 11 car. The 11 car is a lap down. Mettler now coming by Russell Brown, and Sexton has already passed him as well. Sexton's actually pretty close behind Mettler. We look off the back bumper. There you see him. That's the number 51 of Joshua Sexton. And as you can tell, beautiful with these onboard shots. Going over the hump into the turn. It makes the car light going into the turn. Kevin Roy is coming down pit road. He is ready for some new rubber. coming off of the position number 3. All right, now let's go check on our leaders here. Jason Day and Jason Tarasenko still close together here. Their lap times have fallen off to just over 137. That tells me that they're fighting those tires, and they could probably use some new rubber as well. Especially if you look at their best lap times, they are about 2.5 seconds down. Tarasenko throwing that car around a little bit, it looks like. And he's looking very smooth here through these S's. Kevin Roy, meanwhile, is back on track. He has not even lost a position, but Joshua Sexton is pretty close behind him now. There you see him. Joshua has already pitted. Both the Jasons are coming down pit road here. There you saw him past the yellow cones. That's where the speed limit is effective. Speed limit is 45 miles an hour. These cars do not have limiters that are automatic. The driver has to do that himself. Well, we'll see both of them get their service here. Right side tires. Looks like Day is going to beat Tarasenko out. They're taking on a little bit of fuel, it looks like. There you go. They both hit the gas at the same time, and it's actually Tarasenko that comes out in front. That is amazing. The only difference... Oh, and then Tarasenko overshoots the turn there on cold tires. Oh, you gotta warm that stuff up a little bit, boy. It takes him about a lap to get onto temperature, and it looks like Tarasenko really kind of didn't think about that. He was eager to get on his way, overshoots another one through the dirt. Oh my gosh, that's all in all costing him more than 4 seconds compared to Jason Day. Little bit too eager there to get going. But we're on... Oh, once again! Yeah, those tires are now probably extremely dirty. Alright, Jason, get your act together and bring it back on where it needs to be, my friend. He now has about a tenth... Ooh, once again! Overshooting that turn. Yeah, he's got to warm those tires up fair good, and he's going to have to clean them off and not go into the dirt for a while because he's getting in a little bit of trouble here. It looks like he's a little bit frustrated with himself, too. I'm sure he'll pick it back up, and 13 seconds behind Jason Day, that's not something he... Ooh, this is very slow. Is he coming back down pit road? What's going on? Tarasenko back down on pit road. Oh my goodness. And then he even took a tow to the pit. It looks like he's done. I'm not sure what's going on here. We'll keep an eye on him, but it looks like he's decided to call it a night. He was a little frustrated with himself there, it looked like. Jason Day now by himself there in the lead. He's got 25 seconds on Joshua Sexton, who inherits second place. Joshua has passed Kevin Roy. Maybe we can... Oh! Sexton going off there. Let's bring that back for you once again. This is going towards that sweeping left-hander here. He overshot it a little bit. And he's back on his way. Didn't lose too much. And there he overshoots that sharp right-hander again. He's still on his way. Russell Brown. Well, it looks like Tarasenko didn't call it a night. He's back out. Maybe he had a little bit of damage somewhere and had it fixed. Not sure, but he has no more tires to play with. These are the tires he's going to have to make this happen on this set of tires. So let's see if Tarasenko, what he can do. We had a little off here for Mettler, also overshooting that right-hander. Yeah, they do a lot of that. Brake balance can be adjusted in the car. That's one of the few things they can play with on a fixed setup. The brake bias, folks, is the difference in braking strength on between the front wheels and the rear wheels. So if you keep locking up those front wheels, what you can do to prevent that is to turn that brake bias backwards a little bit so that the front tires brake a little less hard compared to the rear ones. Now, you have to be really careful with that, because if you turn it too far backwards and you hit the brakes, your rear end will lock up, and that'll send you spinning around instantly. Oh, there we have Mettler going around once again. Take a look at what happened here. Just losing the back end when he's on the throttle too quickly into the tire barrier there. And backing it up and going back on his way. He's trying to stay out of people's way there. That's good sportsmanship, folks. There you have it, waiting for a clear track. We can sure appreciate that kind of attention. Scotty Stevens is running in 7th. He is the first of the lapped drivers currently. Tarasenko is, in fact, still on the lead lap. He's got a ways to make up there, though. A minute 30 behind Jason Day. Well, I'm just kind of wondering if he bumped over a curb maybe somewhere and damaged something on the car that caused him to have that much trouble on cold tires. But then again, you know, as unfamiliar as these guys are with road courses, although I don't know that for each and every driver individually, I'm just saying these guys are normally oval drivers, and the road course just kind of really requires a different approach. Kevin Roy there in 2nd position. He's got a little bit of damage on the left front of that car. Joshua Sexton is still behind him. The car still looks pretty clean. He's had his fair share of offs, but he didn't hit anything. Ooh, almost loses the back end. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. You have to manage those tires. If you do that too much, those rear tires are going to be eaten up before you get to the end of your stint. We're only on lap 21. He's got to make them last another 10 laps. So you can't be too aggressive on the throttle with these cars and eat up those tires early in the stint. You're going to have nothing left at the end of the race. No direct battles on the track at this point, so let's just take another look at some of the other drivers. This is Russell Brown in the 4th position in the 00 car, coming down to the hairpin to complete his 21st lap, or his 20th lap, I should say. Chris Northington in the number 1, a minute 19 behind the leader. 28 seconds behind Russell Brown. Car still, there he goes off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is that final kink towards the hairpin where he's going off. And I'm sure he's also probably getting a little frustrated with that. Just a little bit too quick in there. Car understeers. Slides over the front wheels, no grip in the front, and Again, it is very important to try and clean everything up before you go all out again. It takes a couple of turns before those tires get back to normal. And he's finding out that he's fighting that car, folks. He's really fighting that car. Every time you see the smoke coming off those tires, he's just abusing them. Jason Tarasenko is catching up with him. Jason is in 6th. He is the final car on the lead lap. And it looks like Jason's running good lap times, 1:35.9s. That's not bad at all. He's definitely a lot quicker than Northington. And it looks like he found his groove back again. He takes that first right curve pretty hard. Here we're coming to that kink where we saw the 00 go sideways. And then back to the hairpin, another lap down for Jason Tarasenko. Scotty Stevens still running. He is in 7th position. Car looks pretty clean. Ooh, also almost loses the back end there. They're all having the same troubles, obviously. Lap times are now varying very much. The quickest drivers, and it looked like the quickest drivers are in the lower 136s, and then there's drivers in the 138s. 140 for Russell Brown, 148 for Jeff Carlson, but he's still going. He's not giving up. He did take that faster pair. Oh, another off there. Got to be careful, bud. And coming back down there towards the hairpin. Slow that car down. Again, folks, this is a total different animal than a oval or a short track. This requires a different setup of the car. On the ovals, the cars are set up with stagger and with camber one side only. All the wheels will lean to the left a little bit. On these tracks, that is not the case. The camber will be will probably be the same on the left front and the right front. And again, these cars, they can be set up to go road courses, but they're just really not designed for it. And that gives you basically another struggle. A heavy car like that is not easy to take around these tracks, folks. Jason Day is up front, running quicker than most at this point. Last lap, he was the quickest driver on the track. But as you can see, he's also fighting that car a little bit. Let's ride along here with Jason Day. And the white car you see in the distance there, that is Northington, going to get put on a lap. Scotty Stevens had another issue. Pretty much the same thing. No grip on those front wheels anymore. A little bit too hot into the turn. And taking the scenic route here. Alright, so the gap between Day and Roy, as you can see on the left side of your screen, is over half a minute. Oh, we had another incident there. That is Chris Northington, a little too eager on the gas, and that is exactly what happens then. And I know it is so easy in your frustration of your mistake to spin those tires, run a donut, but you don't really want to do that because you're burning up those tires so bad. Ooh, as we speak, he had another one, and once again, folks, that is just a matter of having no more grip on those rear tires there. It is. I know it's very frustrating when you're in that situation, folks, and as you can see, he's trying to baby that car through the sand to get back on track. Whereas you really just want to hit the gas and get going. I mean, it just it's not easy to control yourself in those situations, and trust me, I've done it. Lap 25 of 30, we have 6 more laps to go, and it looks to me like a lot of these guys are struggling really hard on these tires to keep them and baby those cars to the finish. It looks to me like Jason Day has got this thing in the bag if he can keep it on track. He is 36 seconds ahead. When the tires are falling off, you do want to be careful with those curbs as well, because you're basically lifting a lot of rubber off the road there. It looks like he's a little bit easier on the throttle coming off that hairpin there. And here it looks like he just kind of lets it roll through the turn here. One thing you'll hear those guys do or see those guys do when the tires are really getting bad is what they call short shifting, not revving the engine to the highest RPMs, because that's when they become more powerful, and when your tires are bad, you really don't need all that power. So what they'll do is short shift to the next gear and keep the revs a little bit lower. And ahead of Jason Day, we have Jason Tarasenko. That means that he's getting close to being lapped. And it does look like he found his groove back. It looks pretty smooth what he's doing here. His last lap time was a 36.7, a little bit slower than Jason Day, but not by much. Scotty Stevens has another off here. Let's go see what happens. He's a little bit early speeding up there, and he takes a lot of sand on the way on the exit of that turn. Let's go back to Tarasenko. Tarasenko is doing a good job here, trying to keep himself on the lead lap. Ooh, a little bit wide on the entry there. That actually works out. Once again, up the hill and another right-hand turn. He's really a lot more careful on the gas there. It looks like he's got it back under control. You can definitely see there's a little bit of coloring difference on the track. The groove where the rubber has been laid down, the racing line as we call it, is a little bit darker. Here you can see it really clear, and that's the line you want to be in. Not so much because it's necessarily the quickest line, but it's the cleanest line. Everybody else is using it, and that means that the marbles and the rubber and the dirt is being blown off there by all the cars taking that line. So even if you would think a different line could possibly be quicker for you, it's not clean. And that's the reason you want to stay on that darker side of the track there. Here you can see it really well. Ooh, he locks up the right front there. And especially in the turns, if you go off that darker line, that clean racing line, you're going to get into the dirt and you're going to lose a lot of grip. Looking on the bumper of Tarasenko's car, he stays on that racing line really nicely here. Here you can see it as well. And if we look out his back end, we don't see Jason Day anymore. Did Jason pass him already? No, I don't believe so. I believe we should be able to see Jason on that wider shot. There he is in the background. Tarasenko catching up with the number 11 of Jeff Carlson. That is not for position. Carlson is a lap down. And it looks like Carlson decides to go in the pit on lap number 28. Did he not take enough fuel with him? He does not have another set of tires he can use, so it might be that he just didn't take enough fuel. See if he goes back out. Yeah, I'm sure he either did not take any fuel the first pit stop, or he did not take enough. All right, so lap 29 of 30, folks. Next time by, this man, Jason Day, is going to get the white flag, and we're going to complete this thing probably within the hour. It looks like Jason Day here in that number 51 car is doing a pretty steady job. He's not overdoing it anymore. He doesn't have to, obviously. Ooh, ooh, don't lose your connection right before you finish the race, my friend. Mettler in trouble again. Ooh. Yeah, that's just wore out rear tires completely. On the gas and spinning him at those kinds of speed. That is just no more grip left there. Here comes Jason Day. He's picking up the white flag. He's got one more lap to go. He's got more than 45 seconds on Kevin Roy. So if he can keep it on track here for the final lap, he is going to walk away with the win here. Using a little bit of curb. Now, one thing that I personally always have is you want to try to stay in your rhythm. He can obviously afford to slow down significantly and not worry too much about stuff, but doing that sometimes also makes you lose your concentration a little bit, and that's when you start to make mistakes while you're not even going all that fast. So a lot of drivers really don't want to slow down too much, despite the fact that they have a good lead, a very significant lead that the other drivers can't overcome. There we have Scotty Stevens having another issue there, overshooting. Ooh, taking the hills here. We have Jason Day coming to the finish here, folks. He is winning this Sonoma exhibition race for the Crooked Line Racing Series, the Monday Night Madness. Well done, well-deserved win. He kept his cool. Second place is going to be for Kevin Roy. He is still on the way back here through this curvy section, dealing with backmarker Northington. And obviously he doesn't really want to hurt himself here. The car behind him is Scotty Stevens. He is not fighting for position here. Oh, Kevin Roy takes the escape route here, but he hangs on to second position, folks. One more turn, and he will bring it across the line in second position. The number 89 of Kevin Roy. There he is. Joshua Sexton coming around the bend here. He's going to bring it home in third position. Not entirely unscathed. Then Russell Brown coming off the hairpin. He's bringing it home in fourth position, and it's going to be Tarasenko. Jason Tarasenko bringing it back into fifth position. He's the final driver on the lead lap. He's the final car rolling across the line here. There he is. Too bad he had a little trouble there on cold tires after the pit stop, but that's just part of it. There we have Jason Day coming back around. Well, we might be seeing some donuts here. Joshua, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me? Hey, Joshua, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
I got you, Mark.
And third place for you, Joshua. A pretty eventful race, something totally different from what we normally do. How was it for you?
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad we ran this race here. The first part of the race was really good. The car was great, and then I just really lost rear grip. It was really hard to drive, and as you can see, I made a few mistakes. Lost a spot too during that.
Yeah, so obviously tire management is not something alien to you guys. You do that on your short ovals and your on your short tracks as well. You only get two tire sets to play with, but I'm sure it feels a little bit different going down these twisty sections of the track and going right and left, and being a little. You have to be a little bit more careful on the throttle on those slower turns probably than you're accustomed to. Do I see that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you absolutely have to feather the throttle. You got to be really good at every turn, and uh, and then to do it for 30 laps, that's what's even harder, especially as the rear tires wear. I think you see some of those guys up at the front with the Jasons and Kevins. They did a really great job at managing their tires and feathering the throttle and being able to not have it slow them down.
Absolutely, and I mean, when you drive those short tracks, those ovals, I'm guessing you're more worried about your right front than you are about your rear tires, and it's kind of the other way around, isn't it?
Yes, for sure. This was the first race I've had where I was worried about my rear tires compared to the front. So.
Do you do a lot of road course racing, Joshua?
No, this is the first road course race that I've ran on iRacing. I put in a lot of practice this week just to get it to this point, so I'm really happy, with how it came out. I wish it could have been a little more consistent, but it was really fun.
All right, thanks very much, man. That's good to hear. That at least you got familiar during the week with these tracks, because obviously learning the track is another endeavor as well, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, that took a while for me to just to get that down.
I'm sure. Okay, Joshua. Well, thanks very much for talking to me, man. We're hoping to see you back again next week when we get back to racing for points at Southern National Motorsports Park. I'm sure you're familiar with that one a lot better than you are with this one. It was great fun to see you work your way around the Sonoma track, my friend. Any love yous and thank yous to throw out there?
I just want to thank everybody that showed up tonight, all the racers. It's an exhibition race. It's a tough track. We had a really good turnout for this. I was happy with that. And thank you for broadcasting the race and jumping on with us here at the last minute. I appreciate it. Hopefully the fans enjoyed it.
I sure hope so too, man. And I like doing this stuff no matter where we are, man. All right, Joshua. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Roy, second place here at Sonoma. Is this a new thing for you as well, running on road courses, or have you done this before?
No, I've got a little bit of experience with the supercar. I've been running a couple of seasons, so coming here with the Super Late model is quite fun actually.
So you're the supercar you're talking about, the Australian V8 cars. Is that the ones you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. I've done the Bathurst 1000 a couple of weeks ago, and I'm getting acquainted with those cars pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That those are not easy to drive either. Those big V8s in the on Bathurst. Bathurst, a very tight and narrow track too. That kind of explains that you kind of got the hang of saving your tires here during this race pretty good. It looked like you didn't have too much trouble coming around this twisty track here in California.
At the beginning, I was really careful. I didn't want to lose the car, but as the race gone by, I felt more confident in myself. So I tried some new things. It works. Some don't,
S-
and I
Without
would.
yeah, without giving away all your secrets, what were the new things you tried and what worked?
At the beginning, I was only staying in third gear and fourth gear, and as the race go by, I've tried the second gear pretty much at the top of the hill, and in the carousel, I stayed in fourth gear at the end.
Okay, so that tells me that you tried to keep those revs low and not have too much power on those rear wheels. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yep, as I was also coming slower in the corner, but managed to get going faster at the end. It wasn't easy, but staying concentrated, but I managed to do it. It sucks that Joshua didn't manage to stay with me. I was loving having a battle with him.
Yes, absolutely. That's always racing somebody else is always a lot. That's what makes it fun, isn't it?
Absolutely, and fi- also it must be just an exhibition, but finish second, pretty awesome for me. Next time might be a win.
Absolutely, I agree with you, man. It doesn't matter if there's points or not. A race is a race, and a second place or a win is what we're going for. Absolutely. All right, Kevin. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out there before I let you go, sir?
Yes, first of all, you for broadcasting the race and throughout the season. You're doing a pretty good job. Also to the league member and the admin. My sponsor, David Land, Bergeron Cheesemaking Factory, and Jimmy Roy Taping for believing in me and helping me. So thank you all.
Thanks for the kind words, Kevin. I appreciate it, and we hope to see you back next week in Southern National Motorsports Park.
It'd be a good one. Thank you.
All right, Jason Day. Forgive me if I am missing something, but you're not one of the regulars in the Monday Night Series. Is that correct?
That is correct. Hopefully starting soon.
Well, you found yourself a pretty cool place to get started with this league. Something we don't do that much. It looked to me like you have this road course racing down pretty good. Are you doing a lot of it?
No, don't do a whole lot of it. I enjoy it, but I run it once in a while, but not very often.
Had you been here at Sonoma before you did this race?
Not with this setup. I hadn't tried it all week. I just first time I tried this setup was tonight during practice, but I have raced this track before with the super lights.
Okay, well, it looked to me like you had. It took you a little bit to get after Jason Tarasenko there, your fellow Canadian. Kind of tried to walk away with it at first, and you reeled him back in pretty quickly. And once you got past him, it basically that settled it, didn't it?
Fortunately, Jason had some bad luck there. His wheel messed up after he came out of the pits. But yeah, him and I have had some good battles over the years on ovals mostly. But I wanted to stay in his mirror for as long as I could to try to make him mess up if I could. And I didn't really want to lead because I don't like looking in my mirror. I wanted to follow him the whole time as much as I could anyway.
Yeah, that sounds pretty familiar. I'm a road racer myself, and I always kind of tell people it's easier to be chasing somebody than to be chased.
Sure, for sure.
All right, Jason, we're glad to have you on board, my friend. Next week we're going back to racing for points at the short tracks. Hopefully you'll be with us the rest of the season, and I definitely hope you're going to have a lot of fun. And we expect to see a lot of you, my friend. We have two Canadian flags here at the top of the leaderboard. That must be a good feeling for you guys.
Yeah, it sure is. Thank you very much for the broadcast. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Any love yous and thank yous you want to throw out there before I let you go, sir?
Thanks to my family for letting me sim race, and my sponsor who's not on the car tonight because I don't have it painted yet, but Don Man Excavating, who sponsors my real race car.
Well, that's the one I saw.
Oh, it wasn't for me, so that's good. That's glad it showed up.
Yeah, trading paints every once in a while it can give you a little hard time with that. But yeah, that's the paint job I was seeing. You were being scored as number 3, but you were showing number 51 with the man livery there. So that worked out pretty good. At least your fans got to see it.
Yeah, it should be 52 after this week, hopefully. So see how it goes.
All right, Jason. Once again, my friend, congratulations. It wasn't for points, but it's still good fun, and a win is always a win, my friend. So again, congratulations.
Thanks for the guys for putting on the race.
All right, folks, there you have it. An exhibition race here at Sonoma and the hills of Southern California. We've seen guys going around this track that were obviously it was very different between the guys who had a lot of experience on road racing. We heard Kevin Roy talk about the supercars, and that is a completely different animal. That is those are the Australian sedans with big V8 engines, and I can tell you I've raced some of those myself. Those are not easy either. And he was talking about the Bathurst 1000. That is a long endurance race in those cars with 2 drivers per car. And I can tell you, Bathurst, if you are familiar with iRacing and you are on iRacing, check that track out because that is a very difficult, twisty and tight little track on the hill there in Australia. So if you're into road racing, you definitely need to check that out. All right, so here in Sonoma with the Crooked Line Racing Series, Jason Day comes away with the win on his first outing in the series. He is going to be back next week and race for points with the guys. Kevin Roy came in second. We heard from him. Joshua Sexton, we heard from him as well, and it was clear that Joshua was a little bit less familiar with the road racing. Pretty much his first time with the practice he started doing this week, so I think he did a fantastic job. And as you heard him explain this is much more about keeping the rear end underneath you than it is the front end, like it is on the ovals. Russell Brown came home in fourth. Then it's Jason Tarasenko, and thanks to Jason Day for explaining what was going on with him. It looked like his hardware, his steering wheel, was giving him some troubles coming after that pit stop, and I cannot blame him for overdoing it on cold tires. It was a hardware issue, so I apologize to Jason Tarasenko for drawing the wrong conclusion here, but that's obviously something I cannot see. And it wouldn't be the first driver that would overdo it on cold tires coming out of the pits. So again, I apologize to Jason Tarasenko for drawing the wrong conclusions, and I hope his wheel won't give him any more trouble next time. Chris Northington in sixth position, hanging in there. Scotty Stevens, obviously Scotty, also one of the drivers that had a little bit of trouble here. Brandon Mettler, same thing, and Jeff Carlson brought it home in ninth, and Tanner Marr brought it home in the final position there, 10th position. 10 drivers took the challenge here to do something different from what we're doing week to week, and we sure enjoyed them doing that. We saw a fun race here, not maybe the closest battles, but still, it is just something different, and we're happy to broadcast it anyway and give you a little bit more insight in what road racing is all about. I for one would be in big favor of putting at least one of those road races in the points series, in the championship to spice things up a little bit. But that's not up to me. But I will definitely bring the suggestion to the series admin. So once again, folks, that'll do it for tonight. No points to be given out here tonight. Next week, we're going to Southern National Motorsports Park, where we pick the championship back up. The Crooked Line Racing, Short Track Oval Racing on Monday night. The Monday Night Madness, I should say. And so next week we're going to go back to that championship, and hopefully Jason Day will be joining us for the rest of the season. I think he looks to me like he knows what he's doing, so that might spice up the championship there a little bit. Unfortunately, we didn't see all of them here tonight, but we understand it is a different thing, and so next week we'll be back to what we're doing best. That is left turning on the short ovals on the Crooked Line Racing Monday Night Madness. We hope to see you then. And until then, this is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. Be kind to one another, folks, and stay healthy out there.